Hey, finally, let's get to it. Would love to go over all of your question marks. Saturday night dinner with son, grants. Oh, that was Steve Spurrier's grill, and of course they have the 500, which is Antichrist in Strong's Concordance in the New Testament is G500. That's what 5G is all about, and Trump was all about 5G and beyond. The whole 9 yards. And because that's through the ghost in the machine, through the AI, they will use the human body as an avatar. That's what the movie Avatar is about. That's what the movie Venom was about, the overtaking of the human body. Once they worship the image of the beast, they will have submitted their bodies. That's why there's no reversing it. And of course, God hands all goats a strong delusion that they will believe a lie. Goats have no choice in the matter. There's no free will on this earth. You're living in what God's ordained, what's always been in the mind of God, always has been, and always will be. Eternity is backwards and forwards in both directions. As it says in Ephesians 1:4-5, for he hath chosen us in him from before the foundation of the world. The most important Bible verse in the whole Word of God is Old Testament, Isaiah 46:10, declaring the end from the beginning. Everything's set. That's why this thing about prayer is God doesn't change things. Jesus said, not my will, Father, your will be done. And when he taught us how to pray, he said, thy will be done, right? So this is God's will. You can't change it. You pray to be able to handle his will, but you pray for his will being done. And you just pray for your salvation. He knows the things you need before you ask. And yeah. So Spurrier's has 500 in the phone number, of course, because he reps the Antichrist. The Devil's Advocate was snatched from Gainesville, Florida. Keanu Reeves' character, he and his wife are living in Gainesville, Florida. The University of Florida represents Devil's Advocate University or Antichrist University. Alabama represents the AI or the Ghost in the Machine. Their big fraternity is called the Machine. Alabama fraternity, the Machine. That's all you got to do. The Machine social group. And it goes on to tell you this Alpha Rho chapter of the Theta Nu Epsilon and how powerful this fraternity is. And it's called the Machine because Alabama represents the AI or the Ghost in the Machine. That's why they are king. And Satan is Saban. And he has been called the devil himself. And was it Nicky Satan? And James Franklin's the one that called him Nicky Satan, the head coach at Penn State. And it was a Gator assistant who called him the devil himself. And so they don't, this is all their world, their scripted world of truth in plain sight. And so James Franklin calls Nick Saban Nicky Satan. Vanderbilt, James Franklin nabs Nick Satan. I think his name is Nicky Satan, Franklin said. So that's what Alabama is. And Ohio State is the eye of the buck, the dotting of the eye, because the Antichrist gets it in the right eye. Same with LSU, eye of the tiger, their right eye, just like James Bond. What eye gets shot? It's the right eye every time when the blood comes down, which opens all of the movies. Florida Gator assistant calls Nick Saban the devil himself. what's his name? Disappointed with Gators assistant who called him the devil himself. Nick Saban disappointed. So these are all psychological operations where they're telling you the truth. Yeah, his name was Tim Davis. Gator assistant Tim Davis. Said Nick Saban took the high road when asked to respond to recent comments from. So twice he's been referred to as Satan. So Alabama is the ghost in the machine. Georgia, of course, with their big G, represents Mystery Babylon, the men of Mystery Babylon. Okay, and that's about all I'm going to say about that. So when you look at Spurrier, the 7 kings of Mystery Babylon, Spurrier is the first. There are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1, and we now have the 7th Gator coach since Spurrier being the first. 5 have fallen. Well, 2 were not fallen. Urban Meyer and Steve Spurrier, they won national championships. Urban named after a pope. Spurrier with Adolf Hitler's birthday, one of the 7 kings of Mystery Babylon. And when this coming total solar eclipse is, April 20th. So it's very going over it now. Look for it. Next video. Your comments. So we appreciate that. It was a great question. I know a lot of my stuff is very cryptic if you're new. And check The Economist magazine showing Alice the rabbit. Yeah, and we did that. We did that, and it was excellent. And we showed that at, I think it was Telling Truth 2, my main channel. This is more my backup channel, but I get way more responses here. And so I love this channel. I love Telling Truth 3. I just don't get to it enough. Bruce Jenner or Bruce Gender chosen long ago, of course. 176 decathlon. East Germans turned Woe Man into MEN to win medals. Doing this stuff apparently a long time. Yep. Eunuchs were high up in the monarch's court, messed up. Yeah, good stuff. Joker didn't care about money. He just wanted to watch the world burn. Absolutely good stuff. Yeah, you got 2 black quarterbacks coming up, and this represents Doug Williams, who was in Donnie Darko. And the Doug Williams game was November 20th, 1989, but they were watching it in the movie with the setting of October of 1988 in Donnie Darko. Donnie Darko stands for Donald Darkened, or his darkened right eye, Zechariah 11:17. Good decode, I think you're right. If the spirits were here first, could it be that they are fighting back after years of human shenanigans by controlled wealthy people? What they will do, or do they want human hosts like body snatchers? Yeah, good question, Andrew. What they will do, well, I already went over it, didn't I? Yeah, I went over it. They're going to use the human body as an avatar. They are telling the world what to do. The world sees them as their, or the world leaders see them as their ascended masters. And how do I say this? So the fallen angels, through, by any means necessary, I don't know if it was by channeling demonic spirits and so forth, channeling humans, gave them the ability to gather electricity and eventually make a speaker. Once they could make a speaker, the entities could speak to them and then tell them how to create all the technology. That's why everything's been increasing so quickly. But they knew they couldn't just lay it on you all at once. So they have to do it in increments. I mean, they could have given you the 5G cell phone back in 1900. But they know they have to get, they have to, this has to be a step by step of what the human mind can handle. And so it all seems organic, like humans came up with stuff. And all these humans are is just front men. And then they make movies like the movie about Facebook. Oh, I forget the name of it. I just watched it. The movie about Facebook, The Social Network. They'll give you a movie like The Social Network to make you think that's organically how Facebook began. Of course not. How Apple computers began. Of course not. They give you that front man, Steve Jobs. He's just a front man. And then they give you a movie made by Hollywood to make it seem all real, just like they made Zero Dark 30 to make you think that the whole bin Laden thing was real. Oh, but we got to dump his body here, but whatever. So the first solar eclipse occurs at the second black moon in Aries on April 20th, 2020. It's a total solar eclipse. It's gigantic, and it's what we see, I think, in iPet Goat. April 20th, Thursday, Thor's Day. Trump was born on a blood moon 700 days before Israel became a nation. Trump declares Jerusalem the capital of Israel during the 70th year anniversary of Israel as a nation. The Batman represents Orion, Osiris, James Bond, a.k.a. Vagabond Kane. Yeah, and it's Jockin and Boaz, too, the JB, the James Bond. Good stuff there, Gentle Wise 7. Dancing with the Stars, we got to laugh sometimes. Great catch, Trey, said Christian Schultz. There you go. Thank you, my friend. AFC debacle was even worse. Yeah, it was crazy. These playoff games. I can't tell if this is a bit or not, but if it's not, seek help. That's good. And wow, bro, calm down. It's not a bit. Yeah. Now I'll go ahead and hide this user from channel. If you come on, because we don't have, ain't nobody got time for that. We just don't have time. We're frying bigger fish, man. This is biblical end times. We'll be living in the book of Revelation in real time once Trump goes down with that deadly wound. And it'll be a fake staged event. More importantly, wearing number 23 or 33. Absolutely. Infuriating. Yeah, it is. I mean, it really bummed me out, man, to watch, to know college football was fake. And I learned it slowly. I couldn't grasp it all at once. I didn't understand the whole scope and sequence of it when I first started realizing it. And I started realizing it when I knew Kyle Trask. I've coached plenty of high school football, and I would go to all the Gator Spring games and watch all the Gator Spring games on TV and watch them over again. And I'd always watch Kyle Trask in game action. And I could easily see he's better than Felipe Franks. Easily see it. And all my friends are like, and I was like, look at his hand signals. I was just like, and I was watching Felipe Franks flash hand signals, but later on the bench, I saw Kyle Trask flash hand signals. But there's an order of things on how they do things and how they groom these players and how they bring them along. And Felipe was supposed to be the one, but it was like forcing it because he was just not that good at executing the plays they were trying to execute. But I don't think they ever won a game they weren't supposed to win, and that they ever lost a game they were supposed to win. I don't think they ever won a game they were supposed to lose, I think. But Felipe just was not clean, and Kyle was extremely clean in the way he went about his business, and that's what they look for. When it's time to make the throw, you got to make the throw. When it's time to make the interception, you got to make the interception. And I can tell you the Gator quarterback this year did not like making bad plays. He didn't sell it very well. That's just why he was in and out and off to the NFL, because he just didn't function well. And you see, Peyton Manning, they have to go through these embarrassment rituals, and Peyton Manning came into the league and he was just throwing interceptions. I think he set like a record for interceptions, and that was part of his embarrassment ritual to come in. And Tom Brady was always going to be Tom Brady. The also ran, they love showing off his flabby body and just all of it and how he became great. So it's a big psychological operation. But whenever they lost, that they have to lose in humility, they have to blame themselves. And this past Gator quarterback, when it was time for him to make a bad pass, he'd just throw it 87 miles an hour. Like, he wasn't good at faking losing. He wasn't good at faking bad plays. And you've got to be good at faking the bad as well as executing the good. And he wasn't that great at executing the good with passing most of the time. He was good, though. He could throw rockets. He could throw darts. He could throw dimes. But most of his plays were these long running plays, and he led the nation in rushing for a quarterback. And all they do in the NFL is go, oh, he's got more potential. Bull crap. In real life, 10 years ago, we'd have looked at a guy like that and go, you just went to the NFL? You're not even going to get drafted. You'd be lucky to be a free agent. But the game has turned so flag football now. It's watered down so badly that, yeah, he'll go in and he'll do just fine. But he'll sit the bench for 2 or 3 years. And he'll learn through the mystery Babylonians. I don't think we have that kind of time. I think Trump's going to go down sometimes this year, and we're going to have World War III. And then, by the way, that's what it is. It's White Horse, Trump going down, spiritually rising on the 3rd day. Dark Night rises 2 days apart on the 3rd day. July 18th, the Dark Knight release. July 20th, the Dark Knight Rises release, both on leap years. This could all last all the way to 2024, the leap year. So, but then after he goes down, the Dark Knight rises. He will rise spiritually, per Revelation 11:7. He will spiritually rise from the abyss with the spirit of Satan. He will be transformed. Well, Satan will be using his body as an avatar, and he will win World War III, who can make war with the beast, and he will come back, but the world won't know he's alive. The world won't know that he spiritually rose. They'll just be experiencing World War III. 1 out of 4 will die. The pale horse is very clear. Death to 1/4 of the earth. That's population. That's not land mass. They have to shock. The whole earth has to go into complete shock of the most horrific world war ever, where 1 out of 4 people on the earth die due to war and famine. And they think, of course, he was killed, which kicked off the war, and then he will seemingly have returned from the dead, like Jesus returned from the dead. And so that's what it's all about. Even if 54 tackled him, he would still in the end zone because the ball, whatever. You just keep watching or going to, bro, they're not acting. Yeah. Well, there's no sense on wasting our time. If people can't see that the NFL is fake, just, I'll hide your comments so we don't waste our time with them, and just unsubscribe from the channel and don't get any more notifications. Keep watching and having fun with fake football. Oh God, here we go. Folks don't know football. He wasn't going to make the tackle anyway. Shut up. Very disgruntled people. I'll tell you what, man. You take away people's football, they'll turn on you and rend you. What is that Bible verse? Don't cast pearls to swine lest they turn and rend you. Least schizophrenic 49ers fan. Hilarious. Hide user from channel. Go. All right. I was just here to find out what happened to the dog. I was leaving to go to the store and thought I'd be back before the end. I was dying to know what happened to the dog. Hilarious. Hide user from channel. I find their code both fascinating and disturbing at the same time. FDR once said, nothing in America happens that wasn't already planned. He also married his first cousin, like most of them at the top of the food chain. Yeah, good stuff, Andrew. Lupercalia's Valentine's Day. Absolutely. It's a 3-day event from the 13th to the 15th. I'm looking more at March 5th if it's going to happen anytime soon, but it could happen Super Bowl Sunday. It could happen on Valentine's Day and I Pet Goat. If you've never seen I Pet Goat video, Bush and them were watching or reading the book The Pet Goat. And goats are, well, there's sheep and there's goats. Sheep are God's chosen few of the narrow way, and the goats are all those of the broad way. All set before the foundation of the world, that who is who. And Heliophant put out a video called I Pet Goat 2, and it shows the next 9/11 in a cartoon sense. And you'll see the Twin Towers collapse here. And of course, I refer to them as the it's out there on my balcony as the twin Trumps. And so you'll see them fall here. So it's a very interesting video. I'll put it in the description. But they're telling you about the next 9/11, and I've decoded it many times. That's Trump being programmed by the AI or the ghost of the machine. You see Satan is like attached to the cord. He's being programmed. There's the reptilian eye. So it's another bin Laden situation like 9/11 was. And then he is also Trump is also the man in the boat. James Bond did the same standing in the boat. And then Trump is also the kid with a right eye wound. And that scarab represents rebirth, regeneration, as does the lotus. And the scarab represents rebirth. And the lotus represents rebirth. And I Pet Goat, of course, has the awakening, enlightenment, rebirth. Why is the lotus a symbol of rebirth? The scarab represents rebirth.
According to the collector, scarabs represented resurrection in ancient Egypt. The deceased needed to harness the...
So you see the scarab over the right eye. So Trump has 3 different characters in here. And so I Pet Goat 2, it's called. Michael, the cult of L, electricity, L. Ron Hubbard, L. Indigenous, El Paso, L. Evan. Good stuff, man. L. Eve with an N at the end. Yeah. Because Eve, it's all about Eve. His real name is Maurice Micklewhite. Oh, Michael Caine. Yeah. I forgot about that. Good stuff. Thank you. I tracked his birthday to now, how many days old he is and stuff. His gets better later on, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Good video, says Eric M. Smith. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Let me see. Thanks for the compliment. Lots of foreshadowing to come. Lots to do with on Vice President. Good call. Eagles, Phoenix, Kansas City. Final bail game. Phoenix rises in their world. Yeah, I mean, it's a ritual for the Phoenix rising from the ashes, which we think will take place this year. Well, it could take place on Valentine's Day, or could go down on Valentine's Day, which is 214. And the 214th verse of Revelation is the first time deadly wound is mentioned, which is Revelation 13:3, which 133 is coded a lot. So is 313, the reversal. That was the Magruder film, frame 313, like where his head exploded. Trump, orange dude, indeed. The masses are oblivious and remain oblivious, sad. Yeah, all meant to be. It's the movie Invasion of the Body Snatchers all over again. Yeah, thank you, my friend. It is. It's very freaky. That's what all that stuff's about. All psychological truth in plain sight type movies and so forth. Stop playing with yourself, Hooper. um I don't know what they mean by that, so I'll just let it slide. I don't know if they're talking, you know. Hooper, you got silly hands, Mr. Hooper, counting money all your life. Gonna have a heart attack. What I bring him. USS Indianapolis, two torpedoes in the side, chief. We need to check when that was. USS Indianapolis. 1,200 men go into the water. Sharks in the water. 350 come out. Sharks get the rest. May 19th. Yeah, he says the date. The date of the USS Indianapolis sinking. Okay, so July 29th, 1945. 283 on the murder code. Okay, 83 is murder in gematria, or murder comes to 83 in one of the ciphers and 38 in the other. So 838, 383. My Bible study tonight was Daniel 8:38, or excuse me, Daniel 8:3 through 8. Coincidentally enough. So yeah, I mean, we're in that realm right now. You get into next week. 2020 is a big day for me. And if you look at 223 in the year 223, so February 23rd, that sinking of the Indianapolis would be 28333. So definitely big days to be looking at. Well, if I go to my March 5th date, which I'm super high on, I've got a playlist at Telling Truth 2. If you go to Telling Truth 2 and click playlist, and you go to March 5th event date. It's got 7 videos in it. March 5th event date. Yeah. Come down here, and all right, very good. So we are set. That is everything. Thank you all. Andrew, thank you. Especially to Andrew and Gentle Wise 7. But thank you to all of you. All right, really appreciate it.